With talks that Mr. Beast may run for president of the United States one day, at least as per a tweet from a couple days ago, we decided to look at some of the biggest YouTubers in the world who could potentially be president. Now this list is comprised of YouTubers from different countries with different political beliefs and of course differences in the size of their following. Still, these YouTubers for one reason or another led me to believe that one day they could legitimately run and potentially win a bid for presidency. Today on InformOverload, we're counting down the top 10 YouTubers that could be president. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to IO. I'm your host Jared Bronstein, and today we're talking about YouTubers turning president. We've seen a reality star and businessman do it, so why can't YouTubers follow suit? If you want to catch more of our top 10s, click the playlist button right up here and make sure that you guys stick around to the very end of this one for some comment replies from another video. But for now, let's get right into things. Starting us off at number 10, Mr. Beast. Of course, we're gonna start the list with the man who seemingly shook Twitter to its core with one tweet. Seeing how divided America is makes me want to consider running for president one day. Very far in the future. Currently I'm stupid. But I also have 6969420 my name at the moment from a Minecraft scavenger hunt, so I doubt anyone would ever take me serious, LMAO. Regardless of political affiliations, it seems quite evident that Beast, real name Jimmy Donaldson, is a very caring and selfless guy, with the majority of his videos seeing him handing cash or expensive items such as a car, house, or even an island to total strangers. While I think Mr. Beast would certainly be all about helping the American people one way or another. He's proven time and time again he's incredibly selfless, and if his videos aren't enough reason to believe he's a good dude, we could use his tree planting initiative as another prime example of how selfless he really is. I think Beast 2028 has a good ring to it. Would he be old enough by then? Probably not. Probably? I don't know. Maybe like 2032? I don't know. You gotta be like 35, I think. At number 9, Liza Koshy. Unlike a lot of other YouTubers on this list who have very little political affiliations, Liza is actually good friends with former First Lady Michelle Obama. In November of last year, it was announced that Koshy would be joining Michelle Obama's nonprofit company, When We All Vote, as co-chair, with a mission to, I quote, increase participation in every election and close the race and age voting gap by changing the culture around. It's evident that Koshy has somewhat of an interest in politics. In 2016, she even interviewed former President Barack Obama for a video on her channel and has always been extremely vocal about people using their right to vote regardless of which political party they support. Clearly she has some good mentors in the game, and if any of the YouTubers on this list seriously had a chance of running and winning, I think Liza would be right at the top. Still, as we've seen with 2020, anything is possible, so... At number 8, Raffy Tuflo. I'll be honest with you guys, I genuinely wanted to find other YouTubers who weren't American to put on this list because I feel the rest of the world needs some representation as well. And side note, Canada, you know, it's prime minister, so I made this strictly Americans. I would put myself on this list, but I'm half American and I was born in Canada, so I don't know if I qualify. Moving on. And although this list is mostly Americans, Mr. Tuflo here is from the Philippines and works as a very popular broadcast journalist who also has over 15 million subscribers on YouTube. With a focus on the government and private sector issues, it seems Tuflo is an incredibly well-rounded, educated, and liked man. His YouTube channel describes him as a hard-hitting, no-holds-barred commentator on issues pertaining to abuses and injustices committed by people in power against ordinary citizens. He is a known champion of the poor. He fights for the downtrodden, many of whom are laborers who flock to his radio show every day to seek for his help. He is known among his followers as Mr. Action Man and Idol Raffy. Now, it's safe to say no one is going to put their biggest failures on their YouTube description, but if what this man wrote is true, well, the people could certainly get behind him running for president one day. Idol Raffy 2024. Bringing us into number 7, we got Joey Salads, real name Joseph Saladino. This prankster turned politician, who still also does pranks, is legitimately eyeing politics as a career. Some of his biggest videos see him faking abductions or trolling at political rallies, specifically pro-Trump ones, but now he's actually a very proud Trump supporter. In the summer of 2019, Saladino started to campaign as a Republican primary in New York's 11th district. However, by December, he'd fold his bid for Congress and in a tweet would explain his reasoning for the decision. I quote, 6 months ago, there were no true conservative / pro-Trump candidates running in NY11. Gun grabber, never Trump, Nicole Maliotakis was the only option, and that was just unacceptable to me. Nicole is pro-choice, anti-Second Amendment, anti-border wall, and has been openly anti-Trump. I would rather put my pride aside and pool our efforts to make sure that we flip this seat from blue to red. I know that Reno Nicole won't be able to beat Max Rose, just like she wasn't able to make a dent in Bill de Blasio. NY11 is a district that Donald Trump won by more than 10 points. We Republicans can't beat Max unless we run a true Trump-supporting conservative against him. Throwing his support behind Joseph Caladarera, Salads thought dropping out would help his case, but in the end, Nicole Maliotakis would win by a 69% voter margin. At number 6, Casey Neistat. Although he was quite neutral regarding politics on his channel, in 2016 Neistat decided he was going to use his platform to encourage his viewers to vote. A 3-minute video titled "Who I'm Voting for President" saw Casey explain why he'd be voting for Hillary Clinton. Throughout the video, he could be seen saying, "I'm speaking up now because this election has very little to do with politics, policies, or legislation. This has to do with morals and principles." The top 20 YouTubers reach over 1 billion views every single week. We have the power to activate a demographic, an electorate that typically isn't very active, and that is young people. Now, regardless of politics, although it seems Neistat is Democratic, it seems seems Casey would make sense to be a president simply because he's a great storyteller and is well-traveled. He's seen what life is like all over the world and has a great understanding of how to connect with his followers. Aside from this, his 12 million plus subscribers on YouTube would likely throw their support behind him, as would Hillary Clinton, assuming she'd want to return the favor. Halfway through our list now at number 5, Canal Kondzilla. Now, Canal is actually a director, music producer, and screenwriter, which likely doesn't make him the most ideal political candidate. But this list, again, isn't so much focusing on the politics of things, but more so the idea of YouTubers running and actually winning the presidency. Whether it be about their policies or simply their large followings, one way or another, those on this list have an edge up on the average person, I'll say. And it seems Kondzilla's major advantage would be his 60.7 million YouTube subscribers, which although is less than half the top subscribed channel in T-Series, is still a very large following. And considering how he's the most subscribed YouTuber in Brazil, he could certainly use not only his channel, but his connections in the industry to help continue growing his brand and potentially get some wild endorsements. It sounds silly, but one day we may really have YouTubers starting their videos off with, "What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about me putting in my bid for presidency." Wild times, let me tell you. Now at number 4, Tana Mongeau. No disrespect to Tana, but if she's anything like the persona she plays on YouTube, well, I wouldn't mind her running the country. She's pro-weed, she seems like a confident person, and although she doesn't make the best choices all the time, she seems well-intentioned overall. Of course, she can be problematic, but it seems everyone can. Now, if you guys can't tell, I was being somewhat sarcastic because from what I see of Tana, she just kind of looks like a wild party girl. I don't know if that's the kind of person you want running the country, and as much as this is a layup to chirp the current presidential election, I won't. It's enough of a joke in itself. Going back to Tana, she knows how to get her name out there. Whether it's OnlyFans, marrying Jake Paul, or doing something else that everyone on the internet has to talk about, she's cracked the code. And that kind of publicity alone could help as much as it can hurt you, as clearly President Trump has shown us time and time again. On to number 3, Markiplier. We could talk about his following of 27 million subscribers, or just simply the fact that when this man would be addressing the country, it would sound like a god is speaking to his people from the heavens. Mark has what we like to call the golden voice. No matter what he says, it sounds good. Talking about economic recession? Doesn't matter, his voice is too soothing for me to care. We're doing a draft for World War III. As long as Mark is encouraging it, I'm on board. Aside from the fact that he's a pretty good dude and doesn't seem to get involved in too much internet drama, if any at all, he'd certainly get my vote. Just for his voice. Bringing us into the number 2 spot, David Dobrik. Although many people likely think that David is American, he's actually from Slovakia and would probably make a damn good president. I like to think of David as the Dwayne Johnson of YouTube, even though Johnson also has his own YouTube channel. I mean this in the sense of he's YouTube's golden boy. Everyone loves him, it seems he could do no wrong, and he's constantly giving away Teslas, so what's there not to like? The man is always happy, or so it seems, smiling and just overall living life to the fullest. And even though he can't vote in this year's election, he understands the importance of people getting their chance to vote and is encouraging his followers and fans to do so. Speaking with ET, Dobrik explained, "I cannot vote, and there's a lot of people like me that are in this country that would love to stay in this country, that have families in this country, that have their entire lives here. They want to stay and they want to stick around. Go vote on behalf of your peers and your friends that can't vote and maybe even aren't old enough to vote." And bringing us into number 1, Philip DeFranco. Imagine the president starting off every broadcast with, "What's up, you beautiful bastards?" The 34-year-old turns the ripe young age of 35, which is when you can legally run for presidency, on December 1st, 2020. This means at 38, he'll be able to run for the 2024 election, and if he were to win, he would be inaugurated after his 39th birthday. Aside from being the youngest president in the history of the United States, Philip would likely have a very neutral approach to policies in the US. While on Joe Rogan's podcast, DeFranco explained prior to moving to California, he was ultra-liberal. Now he finds himself more centered on the political spectrum, citing starting a business as the reason. While doing a Reddit Ask Me Anything speaking on Mary Jane, you know, like a weed, he explained, "I have a prescription and I take it to sleep. Also, if it makes the movie I'm falling asleep to 10 times funnier, that is a side effect I am okay with." Although he considers himself a libertarian and voted so in the 2012 election, he's also described himself as fiscally conservative, socially liberal for the most part. And there you guys have it for the top 10 YouTubers that could be the president. I'm sure we all have differences of beliefs and opinions, and this list isn't so much a serious list as, truthfully, I feel only politicians should run for presidency. It's what they know, likely what they strive for, and something that entertainers, aka YouTubers, shouldn't be in charge of. It's just my 2 cents. As always, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. For now, let's reply to some comments from the video. More bad news for Donald Trump. Miss Megan said, "My biggest fear is that Trump is going to continue downplaying the severity of the virus. Yes, there are mild cases, but there are also severe ones that people of all ages and health conditions experience." I get that, yeah. I don't know the tweet off the top of my head, but I know he just tweeted something out like, "We have these experimental drugs that are working and I feel better than I did in 20 years. And you know, it's not that bad." Kind of what everybody's been saying, how he's downplaying it. He kind of has been downplaying it. And people are just like, bro, like, not everyone has the same options that you do, of the best doctors in the world, going to a hospital, getting new drugs and new medicine that make you feel 20 years younger. So maybe it is as bad as they're saying. It's just not as bad for you because you have all these opportunities to get better much quicker than everybody else. Just a thought. Janelle Elizabeth said, check Johnny out with his BAM hoodie. Talk about a blast from the past. I actually, thank you for reminding me. Well, I guess reminded myself by that comment. I wanted to actually tell him I like the hoodie because I saw it and I was like, BAM, whatever, BAM, I like BAM. I don't know if you guys ever remember, you already saw this, but there was a really good parody of BAM on YouTube. So when you guys are done with this video, watch some more of our videos, and then later, check out this BAM video. And it's like this guy, it's like a BAM parody, and he literally, the impression's so good, he's like,
I swear to God, I was just watching that. It's on my thing right
actually, what's up guys, this is BAM.
Yo, Nashville, where's Nashville?
Where's Nashville, BAM? What's up guys, this is BAM.
It's on my tabs right
Dude,
now.
it is so funny. And what I was trying to say is like, I want you guys to continue watching our videos, but if for whatever reason you need a little break because my face is too stupid, go watch the BAM video and then come right back here. Shanna Laurie said, I don't wish COVID on anyone as it's painful. I hope whoever has contracted the virus recovers soon. It's too painful to see anyone suffer. I agree. You know what? I put out a little tweet. I was like, I don't care who you are, you shouldn't wish illness or death upon anybody. And some people were trying to get a little mad at me, being like, you know what? Like, who cares? Because Trump, you know, hasn't done well with the people, so why should we show sympathy with him? And I was just saying, like, don't show him sympathy, but also don't wish him, you know, to die or get sick. I think that's kind of messed up. Just my 2 cents. I think, you know, at the end of the day, people are people, but at the same time, you know, wishing illness upon somebody else makes you just as that person. That's just how I feel. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Been your host, Jared Bronstein. Want to end this note by saying, I agree. If anybody is, you know, currently dealing with the disease or virus, I certainly do hope you get better immediately. Speedy recovery. Wishing you guys all the best. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein, and we'll see you guys soon. 69% voter margin. Yikes. Or should I say, nice.